So we're a technology platform, essentially, which is facilitating the buying and selling of flexibility between the distribution system operator and asset owners that have got flexibility available that could be offered to resolve congestion issues within the grid. Our marketplace is designed to be independent of any third-party influence and is transparent, meaning that the price for the flexibility offered is done so in an independent manner, and then different types of technology such as wind, battery, distributed energy resources, demand-side response can respond to price signals offering their availability, which can be used to alleviate constraints. And so what Nodes does is we allow for or enable the buying of flexibility in advance through reservation payments, so reserving the utilization of an asset, and then the activation of the asset takes place on a continuous basis within our marketplace, providing a level playing field for different types of technologies to compete against each other. And as a result, we create what's called a merit order stack based on the value of the flexibility being offered towards the DSO. And then we settle those transactions between the counterparts. Well, I think we're seeing an acceleration in activity in order to address these issues. And these obligations. I think the regulator has given some very clear signals on the back of what was originally put into the clean energy package, which is around, focusing how do we achieve decarbonisation. The Ofgem's Rio ED2 program, which sort of kicks off in April 2023. Sort of gives a clear indication and mandate to the DSOs about what they need to do in order to open up the marketplace and help develop and drive the energy transition. We're also seeing advancing and rapid advancement in technology, and that technology being applied to provide better forecasting tools, better responding mechanisms and automation, which again will help optimize assets within the grid that could be utilized to address constraint issues, which ultimately will mean sort of greater efficiency within the network, which will help towards the decarbonisation targets. Yeah, I mean, this is an initiative that we put together last year, and it's really about sort of trying to identify companies that are looking to get involved in the marketplace, getting them to sign up essentially to utilize our API, and so they become technically integrated to the platform. And on that basis, where we're opening up marketplaces and they've got assets, it means that they've got easier access to those markets. Is an effective way of lowering barriers to entry because they're already compliant with how our platform works and provides a seamless integration in that respect. But what we also do is we work on joint marketing initiatives together. So where we would be featuring at conferences, etc., where the members of the Nodes Connect program would be participating, it gives an opportunity to create a forum where we can talk collectively about the transition in the energy sector, how markets could be interfacing. I think one of the key things that we're looking to establish is an element of standardization across the industry from a technology interface element, and the creation of standardized markets so that we are creating lower barriers to entry for aggregators and asset owners to provide their assets. And this is one way of achieving that. That's a tough one because I mean there's been so much change over the last couple of decades, which probably doesn't help me much because it gives away some of my age. But I think one of the things that I've seen more recently is the advancement in technology and how technology is being applied within the energy industry to maximize its efficiency. We're seeing automation in trading activities. We're seeing AI being used in algorithmic trading. We've seen technology being used to automate the dispatch and operation of systems, allowing these assets to optimize their availability and also their revenue generation. So I think that this is probably, for me, one of the biggest things I've seen in the industry over the last 10 years is really about how technology is speeding up the energy transition, if you like, as a result of its ability to be applied across the industry. And what that has also entailed is we're starting to see, we're moving away from a generation-led business and much more towards a consumer-led industry as a result of that. And that technology gives power to people to choose when and how they use their energy, which is, I think, very different to how it was 10, 15, 20 years ago. As I was just talking about sort of the advancement of technology, what we're seeing now is we're seeing new technologies coming out all the time. And if you look about sort of the contribution that these could make towards the decarbonisation of our industry, we're seeing, battery that is, increased amount of batteries that are being produced and being utilised. But the value of those batteries is coming down, or sorry, not the value, but the cost of building those batteries is coming down quite quickly. So what you're seeing is a need for a quicker return on investment in order to compete with cheaper technologies that are being produced at a rapid rate. And so what we're providing through our platform, what I'll be speaking a little bit more about at the conference, is about the value stacking of these assets, about how these assets can be used for multiple services across the industry to increase the speed of the return on investment and make sure that those assets remain competitive for longer and are not priced out of the market earlier while we go through this nascent development stage within the industry. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing a lot of people from the industry and hearing a lot about what's being said and how people are coping and managing and the transition that we're going through. I'm very keen to be talking to a lot of the DSOs at the show, because I think they're going to be a key component of facilitating this transition. Without the DSOs' involvement, it's going to be very difficult to help go through this process. And I think also hearing from the asset owners as well about what are the big challenges that they're facing and that they would like to see from the industry in order to allow them to come into marketplaces, offer those assets and get the value that they need in order to make sure that their business model is sustainable. So I think, I'll be very much looking forward to speaking to both sides of the fence, both the sellers and the buyers, of flexibility as a result.